Good morning, Venkatesh.
Good morning, Ashil.
I guess, is it live? Yes.
Yes.
Great. Welcome to 200 Summaries Challenge for entire year. On this new year, we have selected the 200 book summaries as a target to complete it by December 31st, 2023. On this journey, we are here on the book summary second. Let us go into the book summary second, the apology impulse. Let me share my screen so that I'll go further. We have selected summary 2 out of 200. We are in the Leader Lifestyle Hub, a unique place for digital leaders to enhance every day. The name of the book that we have today is The Apology Impulse, written by Cary Cooper and C.N. O'Meara. The source of this book summary is from 4-Minute Books and other resources. Let us see the small information about Cary Cooper. Sir Cary Lynn Cooper, CBFACCSS, is an American-born British psychologist. Before moving to Manchester, he was distinguished professor at Lancaster University. He is the co-founder of the Robertson Cooper. Cary set up the business with Ivan Robertson in 1999. A 50th anniversary professor of organizational psychology and health at the Manchester Business School, University of Manchester. He is recognized as a world leading expert on well-being. So this is all about Cary Cooper. Let us go for the another information of the second author, C.N. O'Meara. After graduating from T.A. Blakelock High School, C.N. O'Meara completed his degree at the University of Guelph with an honors degree in political science. C.N. completed a master's degree at Queen's University in the Northern Ireland, then returned home to spend 4 years working on this PhD at Queen's University in Kingston. His areas of interest are international relations, comparative ethnic conflict, and conflict resolution. These three are the interests of the author C.N. O'Meara, whereas Cary Cooper is recognized as a world leading expert on well-being. Let us see targeted audience of this book, The Apology Impulse. Targeted audience of this book are the 35-year-old PR manager, public relationships manager, who is looking for ways to help their company become more authentic. The 57-year-old executive that knows they are at fault for an error and needs to make it right, to correct an error. Anyone who wonders why companies say sorry so much, for these type of people, this book is for them. Synopsis of this book. Apology Impulse. The Apology Impulse will help you and your business become more authentic in your relationships with others by identifying how much companies say sorry, why they do, how they get it wrong, and the right way to do it. Let us listen from the authors. To apologize because people don't like your idea is effectively an apology for existing. It's only natural and human to say sorry when you have done something wrong. It shows other people that you are aware of your mistakes and are willing to be responsible for mistakes. Let us see small review before going for the top 3 lessons. The Apology Impulse is definitely different than a lot of other books I have read. I didn't realize the truth about how much companies say sorry and how it is ruining the word itself and in some cases their reputations. As an entrepreneur, I found this especially insightful to see how I can act with more composure when things go wrong in my companies. Many world religions speak of repentance, and parents teach their kids to say sorry almost immediately after they can talk. Apologizing is like a social adhesive that keeps us all close and make it possible for us to stay in communities. But recent changes to the world have made it so we are apologizing more than ever. We are telling sorry more than ever. The frequency of our I am sorry is diluting the meaning of this important communication tool. Some are even twisting its purpose to suit their interests. How did we get here and what can we do about it? That's exactly what Cary Cooper and CNO Miera teach us in the Apology Impulse. How the business world ruined sorry and why we can't stop saying it. This book will help you identify a genuine apology, get the power of saying sorry back, and much more. Let us see the top 3 lessons from this book. Here are the top 3 curious lessons from this book. The word sorry is losing its meaning because companies are apologizing too much. Saying sorry means nothing unless you are willing to actually change. It's okay and sometimes even beneficial to not apologize at all. Sorry, not sorry will be a thing of the past after these quick lessons. Let's get right into it. Let us lesson number 1. Companies are apologizing too much and it's ruining the word sorry for everybody. American Airlines apologized roughly 200 times per day to customers in just the first part of 2014. Were they in a terrible crisis or were they in a something? No, everything was going very well. They were just saying sorry for every minor error that came up. Companies in the same sector as American Airlines have to be very careful about customer complaints. That's because it's easy for people to use another company when something goes wrong. Banks, in contrast, don't have to worry as much about customer service because it's pretty time consuming for people to change who they bank with. Social media has made this even worse. People can go online and share even the smallest slip up a company does with the entire world. It also gives businesses a place to interact, which usually means they are apologizing too often. It might sound like a good thing that corporations are owning up to their mistakes, but the reality is it just makes the word sorry lose meaning. Take the grocery chain Tesco, for example. Let us take an example Tesco as a grocery chain. They used the phrase very sorry to describe how they felt after giving a customer the wrong medication. But by using the same words, very sorry, to describe a labeling error on costumes, the company diluted the meaning of very sorry. If you are going to apologize, focus on the quality over quantity. Remember this line and write down on the paper or take digital notes. If you are going to apologize, focus on the quality rather than quantity. Has the power to improve your credibility and reputation. Let us see the lesson number 2. If you want people to take you seriously, you have to show that you will change every time you say you are sorry. I remember learning when I was young that sorry meant that you will never do it again. Sorry means that you will never do it again. When you actually follow through with this, it can have dramatically positive effects on your personal and business relationships. But when you fail to follow through that and have to keep apologizing, you lose a lot of trust. Write down this powerful point. Sorry means that you will never do it again. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example, the founder of Facebook. In 2010, the world heard him apologize for privacy issues with the fairly new Facebook product. Figuring there were just some growing pains, people forgave him. But just 8 years later in 2018, he had to be saying sorry again for the same privacy problems. His lack of action made his second apology feel awfully hollow. Contrast this with the actions of JetBlue's CEO, David Neeleman. After 130,000 customers experienced issues after flight disruptions. He apologized sincerely and did not stop with just words, but then created an action plan. So apologies after that action plan should be taken care to recover the mistakes. Sharing his customer bill of rights in a YouTube video, he outlined what customers would get when their flights were delayed in the future. And he took his commitment very seriously by following through and making it actually happen. Starbucks is another example. Starbucks has a similar example of being exemplary to customers when something goes wrong. The company closed all of its stores to give employees racial bias training when an employee didn't let two black men use the bathrooms because they didn't consider the men to be customers. Let us repeat again. Starbucks said exemplary to the customers when something goes wrong. The company closed all of its stores, whatever the stores are there, closed all of its stores to give employees racial basis training when an employee didn't let two black men use the bathroom because they didn't consider the men to be customers. So when two black men were opposed to use the bathroom, the company closed all of its stores. That's what the resolution it was taken. So if you want people to take you seriously, you have to show that you will change every time you say you are sorry. Let us see the top 3 lesson. Lesson number 3, not apologizing is sometimes the best option. A few years ago, I worked in a customer support call center for a fairly well-known company. I was excited when I got moved from doing calls to mostly being on emails. It was even more exciting a little later to hear that I would get to work on the social media team. We managed the Facebook and other accounts for the company and responded to urgent requests. A few times, the site would go down, or many customers would have problems at once. We had tried to get to everyone we could, and I'll admit that I was probably a little too generous with my apologies. But one particularly hairy day, I learned a lesson I will never forget. Something had gone wrong, and customers were going crazy on Facebook with angry messages and bulk comments. I asked my manager how to respond and was blown away when he told me not to say anything. I could not understand how that would help, but I trusted him. Sure enough, with time, the issue was fixed and the people calmed down. It's often said that the only way to calm muddy water is to leave it alone. If you want to calm the muddy water, leave it alone. All the mud goes to the bottom. I definitely saw the importance of this principle that day at my old jobs. Sometimes the best course really is to just do nothing, not even apologize. Frequently, the loudest people on social media don't actually represent your real customer base. When something goes wrong, take a few deep breaths and find out if you are at fault, then apologize if you are. But if not, you don't have to respond to the angry voices vying for your attention. Let us see top 3 lessons again. Target audience of this book is the PR manager looking for ways to help their companies become more authentic, the 57-year-old executive who knows they are at fault for an error and needs to make it right, anyone who wonders why companies say sorry so much. Let us see top 3 lessons. The word sorry is losing its meaning because companies are apologizing too much. Saying sorry means nothing unless you are willing to actually change. Unless until you actually change, sorry does not have proper meaning. It's okay and sometimes even beneficial to not apologize at all. Learn from that and take a few deep breaths, and keep moving on. Once your issues or challenges are fixed, everything will set down. See you in another book summary. Until then, stay connected, keep